Girls and boys, welcome back to Kate's Kindergarten. My name is Teacher Kate, and I am so happy that you've come back to join me for another letter of the day. Our letter today is the letter Y. Y says yeah, 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 yeah. Can you say it, boys and girls? And we write the letter Y the same way every time. We start at the top and we come down and we other side and come down, and we draw a straight line down. Y starts with words like yellow and yes and Yankee and what other words? Yoga and yogurt. Lots of words start with the letter Y. Today we're going to read a book about Yankee Doodle. This is a great American song, Yankee Doodle. Starts with the letter Y. See the letter Y right there? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yankee Doodle. And it starts with the story of how this song was written. You might be surprised to know that Yankee Doodle was not written by an American. The author was a surgeon in the British Army. The British troops sang it during the American Revolution to make fun of the rebel American troops who had no proper uniforms and of course did not parade as prettily as the well-trained British troops. The British sang it as they marched to the Battle of Lexington, where they intended to teach the rebels a lesson. However, they were outsmarted at Lexington, and it was the Americans who were singing Yankee Doodle as they drove the British back to Boston. It has been an American song ever since. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Gooding. There we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. And there we saw 1,000 men as rich as Squire David. And what they wasted every day, I wish it could be saved. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. And there I saw a little keg, its head all made of leather. They knocked on it with little sticks to call the folks together. And there was Captain Washington upon a slapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there were 1,000,000. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. And the ribbons on his hat, they look so fine, ah. I wanted Pescally to give it to my Jemima. And there I saw a swamping gun, large as a log of maple, upon a mighty little cart, a load for father's cattle. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. And every time they fired it off, it took a horn of powder. It made a noise like father's gun, only a nation louder. The troopers too would gallop up and fire right in our faces. It scared me almost half to death to see them run such races. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. It scared me so I hooked it off, nor stopped as I remember, nor turned about till I got home, locked up in mother's chambers. He was so afraid he's running all the way home now. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. And that is the story, Yankee Doodle, our first Y book. And our second Y book is one of my favorite things to say. Yes, we can. Because I really believe most things, if you want to do something that's positive and good for the world, yes, we can. It's a great thing to always be saying to yourself in your head, and sometimes saying it out loud too. This book is written by Sam McBratney and Charles Fugue. Little Roo was chasing leaves one windy day. Roo's friends, Country Mouse and Quacker Duck, were waiting to play with him. They're waiting patiently. Let's make a big pile of leaves, said Roo. A mountain of leaves, said Country Mouse. The biggest ever seen, quacked Duck. They began to collect up all the leaves they could find, but making a leaf mountain is hard work. So after a while, they stopped to take a rest. While they were resting, little Roo said to his friend Quacker Duck, I know something you can't do. You can't jump over a big log. Yes, I can, said Quacker Duck. Quacker Duck tried as hard as she could, but little ducks aren't meant to jump over big logs. Country Mouse thought it was so funny when Quacker Duck fell over the fallen down tree. Oh no, that's not really funny. I wouldn't say that was funny. Don't laugh at me, said Quacker Duck to Country Mouse. I know something you can't do. You can't float on a puddle. Yes, I can, said Country Mouse. So, Country Mouse tried to float on a puddle, but a little mouse isn't really made for floating. So little Roo thought it was so funny when Country Mouse crawled up out of the water, soaking wet and dripping. No, I don't like when they laugh at each other. It's not nice to laugh at your friends when they're having a hard time with something. Don't laugh at me, said Country Mouse. I know something you can't do. You can't catch your own tail. Roo tried as hard as he could to catch his own tail, but his tail would not be caught. It was too far away. Country Mouse and Quacker Duck laughed and laughed as Roo ran around in circles. Don't you dare laugh at me, cried Roo. Well, you laughed at me, said Mouse. And you laughed at me, said Duck. No one was happy. No one was happy because each had made fun of someone else, and someone else had made fun of them. Instead of making the biggest mountain of leaves that anyone had ever seen, they looked as they might all go home in a bad mood. Little Roo's mother came over to see what all the fuss was about. I'm not surprised the three of you look grumpy, she said. Nobody likes to be laughed at. It was true. No one likes to be laughed at. Why don't you show each other what you can do, said Roo's mom. It's a great idea. Roo cried, I can jump over a big log. He hopped up and over the fallen down tree. That's really good jumping, the others said. I can float on a puddle, said Quacker Duck. taking to the water with ease. That's really excellent floating, the others agreed. And when Country Mouse caught his own tail, Little Roo and Quacker Duck thought that his tail catching was the best they had ever seen. There now, said Roo's mother. Can we all be friends again? Little Roo, Country Mouse, and Quacker Duck looked at each other. They were all thinking the same thing. Yes, we can. Yes, we can be friends. I love that. So boys and girls, I think it's always important to remember that each of us has a different strength, right? The mouse could catch his tail, Quacker Duck could float, and Roo could jump really high. So it's nice to have friends with other strengths, doing some things that you can't do. If everyone could do all of the same things, it would be boring. Each of us has our own strengths. But having a positive attitude, like yes, we can, is a strength that everyone can have. So remember, next time you're struggling to do something, think to yourself, yes, we can, or yes, I can. Thank you so much for coming to Kate's Kindergarten today, boys and girls, to learn more about the letter Y. I can't wait to see you next time. And remember, until then, be kind, be friendly, and be helpful to everyone you meet and in everything you do. Until then, remember, Teacher Kate loves you. Teacher Kate loves you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.